Today I'm going to show you the top 5 things you can do for free in Berlin. Let's go.
Berlin has to be evacuated immediately.
A third fire engine is showing up. All of the activities we did were completely free, but we did take one quick train journey in the morning. This train ticket was the only money we spent all day besides on food, and it cost us about €4 each. The first thing I'm going to tell you about our first activity of the day is that it is an amazing way to meet locals and people from all around the world. You will get talking to everyone, even if you're quite introverted. Another great thing about this activity is, as you can probably imagine, we're exploring a different part of the city that we normally wouldn't. We're now about to get on our second train. We've successfully made it off both of the trains. We are now in the area. It is only about 3 miles away from the city, so it's not super far. We're now in the right place for our first activity. We've made it and we are doing park run. Just in case you've never heard of park run, it's a 3.1 mile or 5k run/walk. You can push your kids in a pram, you can even push people in wheelchairs. This one is quite flat too, so I think it would be quite accessible-ish. We do it every week at home, but we love trying to get them in when we're traveling as well. We've been here for literally 2 minutes. We've already spoken to a Polish girl who's really nice, and then I took another guy's picture. I don't know where he was from. He sounded quite English. I can hear people with Australian accents, people from all over the world. It is honestly highly recommend. Even if you're not a runner, by the way, a lot of people walk park run, so you can definitely come and just walk it, and it's in a really nice park. I'll put the name of the park run on the screen so you can find it. So yeah, get yourselves down to park run.
You're going to run in this direction, down this way, until you get to a T-junction. You will see a marshal there. At that point, you go right.
We put a mountain in park run. I don't know if the camera even shows it, but this is steep AF. I don't understand how, but literally the rest of the whole park run is very slightly downhill. It's only that one mountain. The rest of it is down. We did it! That was so much fun. I love parkrun at the best of times, but honestly, I don't understand that whole track was downhill, except that one tiny hill. I mean, I say tiny, it was steep but short. Other than that, the whole thing felt like it was downhill, which makes zero sense. We did it in just about... Yeah, it was a loop. I can't, my head doesn't understand. We've decided we're now going to walk back to the city, and on the way, about 2 miles into the walk, we've found a cute little market. I don't know exactly what they sell. Seems to have wine over here, coffee. See, this is the thing, when you just randomly walk, you come across things that you would never found otherwise. Burgers, loads of flowers in this one over here. This is so much fun. I'm easily impressed. Oh yeah, this one looks good. Olives and dips. I'm not sure about how often this market is on. It is a Saturday today, which makes me think it might be every Saturday, but don't quote me on it. And we're just by a place called Kirche am Sudstern. I'll put it on the screen because I'm probably butchering that. But that is this huge church. So if you come to this church, it's just next to it. And there is this really lovely market. After a little bit more walking, we arrived at our next activity, which was, of course, Checkpoint Charlie. This is it. Wow. People are queuing up to get photos. US Army checkpoint, Allied checkpoint. It's just like a little shack in the middle of the street. This is a cool magnet. It kind of shows what Checkpoint Charlie is about. It's the meeting point of all the different nations. You can also buy a piece of the wall from around €25, it seems. Oh, some of these ones are less, 15 for a small piece. 1961 to 1989. The craziest thing has just happened. Every time we go to a city with a Hard Rock Cafe, we of course need to go and get a magnet. And I believed it was like a few miles away from here on a different part of the city, but we've just come outside right by Checkpoint Charlie, and guess what we've seen? There is a Hard Rock Cafe shop. I think it doesn't have the restaurant part, I believe the other one does. But let's go see if we can get a magnet, and then we're gonna get some pictures at Checkpoint Charlie. Not only did we get a Berlin magnet, they also have Checkpoint Charlie, which is amazing, $12.75. And this is it, the tank standoff at Checkpoint Charlie on 27th of October 1961. You are leaving the American sector. And on this side it says you are entering the American sector, carrying weapons off duty forbidden, obey traffic rules. There's also this black box Cold War exhibition, which looks pretty interesting. It's open Monday to Saturday, 10 till 6, and it's closed on a Sunday. Look at this piece of the wall. That's so crazy, isn't it? And then they've got a timeline over here, so 1961 to 89, the course and structure of the border defence system. Through to 1989 to 92, the wall disappears. They even sell the newspapers that were sold on the day the wall came down. The rest of it inside the black box section is €5 to get in. Children up to 14 are free. But there is still a lot to see on the outside, which you can completely just walk up and have a look around. We are pretty much back. So this in front is the main train station. That building there with the red in the corner says Meininger Hotels, that's our hotel. And right here we found this like another little market. So let's have a little look around. Cocktail, maybe it's a bit early for that. Plus we don't drink. No, we won't. Pasta, plate and wine, €12, or just for the plate, €8. Hats, moving hats. €12. I spy a sign over there that says vegan burrito, vegan taco. I love how much vegan food there is in this city, it's so good. We are now all showered, changed and ready to get on with the rest of the day. Let's go. The rest of the day is very much closer to where we're staying, which is very central Berlin. So the next thing we're going to is about a mile away. On the way to our next activity, we came across the Reichstag building, which is a government building where the President of Germany is elected. It is free to enter, but you do have to book in advance. We hadn't done at this stage, so we decided not to go, but you could definitely add this to your itinerary. Our next stop is of course the Brandenburg Gate. The Brandenburg Gate is an 18th century neoclassical monument that serves as a national symbol of peace and unity. Historically, it symbolised unrest and division during the Cold War, but after the fall of the Berlin Wall, it became a powerful emblem of European unity. That is a little bit of a short and sweet one. There's not loads to do here. You literally can just come and look at the gate, but our next one has a little bit more to it. This next one's a little bit of a double whammy. We are very, very close to the Brandenburg Gate. We're now in Tiergarten Park, so kind of this in itself is somewhere to come that you can come and visit for free, but I have something extra for you guys. On our way we found the Soviet War Memorial. It's the gravesite for more than 2,000 Soviet soldiers who were killed in April and May of 1945 in the Battle of Berlin. Not only are we going to be exploring the rest of the Tiergarten, but also we're going to try and do a geocache adventure lab. If you've been watching my videos for a while, you've heard me talk about them before most likely, but basically there are 5 stops on a geocache adventure lab. If you get the geocaching app, I'll write the name on the screen in case you've never heard of it so you can go and check it out, but there will be 5 different spots around a certain place. Some of them take 5-10 minutes. You can actually get ones that take 2 or even 3 hours, which is pretty cool. It's a really good way to explore a different part of a place without having to pay for a tour guide or anything like that. So I think they are really advantageous to do, so you can find out different facts about the place that you're in, and you can choose how long you want it to take as well, which is just great. This park is so nice just to wander around. The only thing is it's kind of a free-for-all between bikes and people, so you kind of feel like at all moments you're gonna get hit by a bike, which isn't ideal. The only thing is we're gonna have to do one that's all in German, so we're just trying to do a bit of Google Translate, see if we can figure it out. This is the name of it, Lauryn Group. Let's just do it. We're going off-road in a bit now to find the first one, but it's good because there's no bikes down here. We believe this statue of a lion, well, a lion family, is the first stop. Now we just need to translate it into English and then we can answer the question. Okay, we figured a couple of things out. Lauryn is lion, so the name of the geocache in English is Lion Group, and the first question is very easy. Even if you don't speak any English, just use Google Translate, so this is a good start. The next part, so part 2 out of 5, is 300 meters away, so this is kind of what I meant by you can really explore a place using this system, because otherwise you might not just aimlessly wander around as much, but because we kind of have somewhere to go, it just makes you look at all the different things, which is really nice. I suppose another nice thing about this is you learn new things as well. I definitely didn't know that Lauryn is lion in German, so I'm learning a new language while I'm at it as well. The next part actually leads us to this lake, which is pretty nice. It's got loads of lily pads in it. Oh my gosh, there is a dog swimming in it, and it's very peaceful, which is nice considering we're like not far, but we're in the city centre and we're just in this peaceful little park. So the question is, how many steps do you have to go down to reach the bottom? You can actually go in. Anyone fancy a dip? That was a lot of fun. I'd definitely recommend if you have kids. It's definitely a really nice way to have a wander around the park without just thinking trees. Like, we found that little lake, there's a few different statues. It's definitely something that I would look at doing if you are going to come and wander around the Tiergarten. Rach just found some intel through the geocaching app about the history of this park, which I thought was quite interesting, so I thought I'd tell you it. The Great Tiergarten, today the third largest city park in Germany, used to be the hunting grounds of the Brandenburg electors. There was a fence around the area so the game couldn't escape to the surrounding fields. In 1742, Frederick II, who wasn't a friend of hunting, ordered the architect George Wenceslaus von Nobelsdorf to transform the Tiergarten into an enjoyment park for the people of Berlin. We might have messed this one up a little bit. The last thing that we want to do is about a 20-minute walk away. According to Google Maps, it closes in half an hour. I didn't even realise it was something that could close, so now we're kind of on a bit of a speed walk to make sure that we don't miss it. We are walking so fast, we've already made up a couple of minutes. I really hope we can get into this, guys. If not, we might have to come back tomorrow. We've got here and there is nothing to fence this in. You can literally just walk to it, so I don't know why Apple Maps says it shuts at 6, but it most certainly does not. And of course, what we've come to see is the Berlin Wall Memorial. There is actually another geocache adventure lab here which we're going to do, which hopefully will mean we'll get a little bit more information. There are these posts everywhere that you can see these people reading it. They give information. I'm not sure if it's all in German though. Nope, there is English, so that's good. And there's more over there. There's lots of information. Go on then.
I'm with my car at the corner of Bernauer Straße and Gartenstraße, having driven along Bernauer Straße. The same site at the sector border and all streets crossing the border. Rusty barbed wire stretched across the street, and behind it squads of 4, sometimes 5 members of the People's Police.
If you look on these signs that have loads of information on, they're all in German and English, by the way. At the bottom there's a QR code which you can scan and you can get a digital guide in German or English, and I believe it's free. This is definitely super informative. You can find out a lot of information. I'm not going to read you guys every single thing because we'll be here all night, and I mean, I think it'd be better if you guys came for yourselves to find out what's here. I suppose this is a big part of the memorial, so it's got all the names of the people passed away in 1961, 1962. 1963 and so on. One more interesting fact that I thought I would share with you guys. So it's kind of like a cross in the ground, and it says approximately 1,000 graves had to be moved when the border strip was developed. It is however possible the graves of World War II bomb victims were not exhumed and that the border grounds were built over the graves. This cross commemorates them. We found that there is like a museum type of situation. This might be what shuts at 6. This is quite a cool map. You are here.
Yeah, so this is where we started at the beginning.
Okay, we've walked that way, and then it carries on. B, C, D. Last admission 5:45. So we wouldn't have made it anyway. As far as I'm aware, you can get in here for free and then you can pay a small amount. I think it's like €3.50 for a tour. Unfortunately, we've missed it, so we won't be able to go in. To be honest though, the main thing we wanted to see was the actual wall, so we're not too disappointed. Something to be aware of, when we were looking at the wall in the other section, a lady came up and said, can you sign this for deaf and disabled people or something? Rach thankfully knew that it was a scam, so we didn't do it. But when we went to look at that museum, on the door there was a sign saying do not fall for this scam. They do it so that when you're signing it, they'll steal your stuff. Thankfully I have no stuff, so even if I'd done it, she wouldn't be able to steal anything because I just have these 2 things and they're in my hands. But just something to be aware of, because that could really ruin your day if you fell for that and then your stuff got stolen. So just a little warning. This section here, these foundations were actually houses that were on the border of the wall, and people would try and climb out of their windows, which kind of led onto the other side to escape. This is so interesting. Apparently when they found that people were jumping, they nailed the doors shut, they climbed out the windows, and then those were bricked up. So then they would slide down ropes from the higher level windows and they would jump, and the firefighters would catch them at the bottom. By mid-October, 113 had fled, 4 lost their lives. Wow. No, it looks like a kid, doesn't it? Yeah. We were talking earlier about how when you're just in the city generally, you really can't feel or notice that there was once a divide, but when you're actually reading these things, it is so eerie, and it's kind of unbelievable how recent it was. and that how much I suppose the city has changed even in, you know, 35 years, and now it feels like very cohesive, but back then people went through a lot. This whole thing is quite a bit bigger than I anticipated. I'm not sure why, but there is a lot of information. There are like 5 different sections and they are quite long, so you could easily spend a couple of hours doing this, particularly if you want to read every single board. You could spend half a day here probably. So if you want to come to Berlin and not spend a lot of money, this is definitely something I would recommend to do. They have one of these metal models from 1989. It has a key as well, which is pretty good. So it's got buildings, memorial site buildings, the border wall. So that's over there. Well, that's rude. And then this one here is the signal fence. These are lights. Watchtowers are the tall ones. These guys, it's a watchtower. Oh, and it even says you are here. So we're here right now in real life. So I suppose we've probably walked from that corner, we've come this far, and then we've got sort of that much to go. Our final stop of the night is back at these market stalls, which is just outside the train station. And I've gone for the chana masala. It looks amazing. This was €8. Let's give it a try. That is so good. It's like a tiny bit spicy, but not too spicy. It's really flavourful. Everything's really like soft, like the chickpeas aren't hard or the rice. That is amazing. That is so good. And for the price, I'm really impressed. It's 8:15. We have done 40,000 steps today, which is absolutely insane. You could absolutely do the same itinerary we did, but get a 24-hour train ticket, which is about 12 or 13 euros, and just train in between places rather than walking everywhere like we did. But we saw so much and we had a fantastic time. So if you want to do it that way, I would definitely recommend. The only money we spent today was about €4 something on the train each this morning to get to Parkrun, which if we wanted to leave at the crack of dawn, we definitely could have just walked there. Also food and drink, which I feel like doesn't count in the free things to do because you have to eat and drink. And the only other thing we bought was the magnets from the Hard Rock Cafe, which we were going to get either way, so I feel like that also doesn't count.
The building has to be evacuated immediately. Please use the tagged escape routes and follow the instructions of the supervisory staff.
Literally everyone's out here. It's 9:20. Thankfully it's still light outside. I was in my pajamas, in fact I still kind of am. That was so fast. We literally just got out here and the fire engines were here. This is crazy. Oh my gosh. I've never seen anything like this. Oh my gosh. I hope it's like okay. A third fire engine is showing up. They've even brought a ladder truck. That seems fairly serious. Another truck is arriving. What is that on my leg? What the hell? It's been a bit over half an hour and we're finally allowed back in, which makes me think everything's okay. I really do hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure to leave it a massive thumbs up and subscribe should it miss any future content. We are headed for another day in Berlin tomorrow and it will all be filmed in some way or another, so make sure to stay tuned for that. And other than that, I'll see you next time. Bye!